Lionel Nelson here. Welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. It's so important that we always stand up for our fathers. We want you to know we're with you. We're standing behind you 110%. Now, to move on to Mr. Kerrion, his son. Now, from a social perspective, many have said that, he should move on even if he doesn't have a relationship with his father. And many of you have chastised him for saying that he was wrong for leaking the audio for the sake, out of spite, to hurt his father. Well, this is my response to that. In Ephesians, going back to Ephesians again, chapter 6, verse 1 through 3, it says that children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandment, with a promise, so that it may be well with you, that you may enjoy long life on the earth. So what I would say to in Mr. Kerrion's case, that he really needs to consider what he has done, and that he, regardless of how his father may respond, act, or have done, or whatever it is, that regardless of what, he needs to obey and honor his father and his mother regardless. Now, is that something that's very hard and challenging to do? Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been there. Now, some of you may say, well, what grounds do you have? What gives you the right to speak on this? Well, I've been on both sides. And when I was looking deep into this situation, especially when we're talking about the relationship between Mr. Franklin and his son Kerrion, and to hear him say that for 32 years, or however long it's been, that him and the son has had this challenging relationship, I really began to ask why. I really wanted to know, okay, what is really going on that for I'm sure it wasn't 32 years, because I think up to the last time he was 16, from what I'm hearing, that he really had time and fellowship with his father. But I don't want to go down that road too much. But I really had a concern. But this is what I when I kept thinking about it, and this is what I came to look. This is what God showed me here. Now, when we look at Mr. Franklin and his son Kerrion, and I'm really going to ask God to really help me with this, to really explain it, to break it down to how he's given it to me, because this is what I was looking at. Now, let's just say the world globally was looking at this situation as it pertained to Mr. Franklin and his son. And all they were focusing on was this battle between these two men. Now we're talking about a father and we're talking about a son. Regardless of how you may feel about them, one way or the other, indifferent, these are two young men who are related through father and son. And this is what God dropped in my spirit. He said, Lionel, what this situation does, it reflects a lot of father-son relationships, not just nationally, but internationally, globally. There are many Kerrions out there that feel the way that they feel about their father. There are many Kirk Franklins out there. Their name may not be Kirk Franklin, but there are many Kirk Franklins out there who having a bad relationship with their sons. They don't have a relationship. So, and I think this is something that we need to really look at and really need to focus on, because this is an example. This is an example. This is not just a one-time incident or occurrence. There are many Kirk Franklins, there are many Kerrions out there in father-son's relationships who are battling or don't like each other, don't even talk to each other, have no relationship. And there's no way that anybody can tell me that this is right. No, this is not right. This is not right. And let me help some of you out. If I had, which I did, Now I'm talking from two perspectives. Let me give you some truth here. For 30 years, for 30 long years, 30 long years, you all, I battled my father. From the time I was 14 years old to the time I was 44 years old, my father and I was at war. I'm talking about straight up war. War. And you know what? The only thing I ever wanted him to do for me, and I want you all to hear my heart tonight. All I ever wanted him to hear him say was, son, I love you. Not say it at me, not say it through someone else. You know, my father was a preacher, not say it across the pulpit, you know, my son, he know I love him. No, if you do, then come say it to me. That's all I was saying. Daddy, tell me I want to hear you tell me you love me. That's all. And because I never got those 3 words, man, that bitterness built up and worked on me in my heart to the point where you know what? I got to the point where I hated him. I hated him. We was constantly battling, and this is no secret. And I'm not trying. And my father and I, for the record, my father and I have a great relationship today. We talk. God healed that, and you know why? And this is what my words are to Kerrion. This is what I would say to him, Kerrion. In spite of what your father did, let me stop. Let me back up a little bit. There were times that I felt that my father was abusive to me, physically abusive, when it came down to discipline. Yes, I felt that he was, and I'm not putting him out there. I am not putting my father out there. And I wish I could get him. He's not a social media person, but I wish I could get him on the phone right now, and he'll tell you. We battled, we warred. But you know what God showed me? He told me, he said, listen, son, regardless of what your daddy do, if you die right now, hell, you're going to lift your eyes. And such a strong conviction came on me. I'm not here to try to preach to nobody, but I want to talk reality right now. I want to talk some truth right now, if y'all don't mind me. That's what I want to do. I want to talk some truth. That's what man, let me tell you something. We was at it. We were at it. I even threatened to shoot him one day. I'm telling you, it's no secret. So I know the pain of Mr. Kerrion. I know what that feels like, not to feel that you're getting any love from your father. I know what that feels like when it seems like your father have time for everything and everyone else, but no time for you. I know what it feels like when you got functions and things that's going on in your life and that you're involved in, but your father never shows up. I know what that feels like. I know that pain. I know it all too well. But regardless of what he did, I still had to give an account of what was going on in my spirit, man, in my soul, in my body. I had to give an account for that. And that's what God did. So what I did, when he convicted me of how I was feeling, what I did, I began to tell my father I love him anyhow, even when he didn't never say it back. I would go and hug on my father even if I didn't feel he was hugging me back. I did it anyway. I wasn't doing it for him. I was doing it for me. I was doing it for me so that I can heal. So I would say to my brother, the young man, Kerrion, man, tell your father you love him anyhow. Forgive him. Even if he don't ask for it, forgive him anyway. Forgive him. Forgive him. And then you love on him the way that you want to be loved. Do that, because one day you're going to have children too.